Hello, Nigeria fans. Welcome back to EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. Once again, my name is AyoT, and I am here for the ultimate WAFCON 2024 preview of the game between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Mares of Botswana. We're going to be diving deep into our upcoming Group B clash at this tournament, where the Nigerian Super Falcons will be taking part in their second game of the tournament on July 10th, 2025 in Casablanca. Of course, Super Falcons are coming off of a dominant 3-0 victory over Tunisia, and Botswana are coming off of a tough 1-0 defeat against Algeria. This match is pivotal for both teams' hopes of advancing in the tournament. And today we'll take a look at the squads. We'll talk about the opening fixtures. We'll explore the tactics, and I'll even give you guys my predicted outcome for the match. So grab your jersey, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us get into it. The Women's AFCON 2024 is in full swing in Morocco, and Group B is already taking shape. 9-10 champions, Super Falcons of Nigeria, are sitting pretty at the top after the first game, thanks to a commanding 3-0 victory over Tunisia. Asisat Oshoala, Omori Babajide, and Chinwendu Ihezuo got the goals. Meanwhile, Botswana, the 2022 quarterfinalists, are licking their wounds after a 1-0 defeat against Algeria, with only the top two teams guaranteed to advance from this group, despite the fact that we have two third place teams also going through. This match on July 10th could be make or break for Botswana's campaign. And of course, a victory for the Super Falcons will pretty much guarantee their spot in the next round. Let's set the context. The Super Falcons are ranked 36th in the world and of course are the favorites for this match. Botswana, ranked 153rd in the world, have previously shown that they can punch above their weights, like in the last edition of the tournament. Plus the increased prize money, hey, $1 million for the winners, is something that would help to raise the stakes a little bit and want teams to go as far as possible and try to win this trophy. Let us talk about the players. Who are the players that will be stepping onto the field? First of all, we have the Super Falcons, a team that has a blend of experience and flair. In our first game, we had 6 players making their WAFCON debuts. So there's also that youthfulness and, the newness of players in the team. Led, of course, by the legendary Asisat Oshoala, who plays for BFC in the United States NWSL. She opened her WAFCON 2024 account with a goal in the 4th minute against Tunisia. I believe that was her 31st goal for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Then there's Omori Babajide, the forward who bagged her first senior tournament goal in stoppage time of the first half while playing in her first international tournament. And then her Jota-inspired celebration was pure fire. I had her as my dark horse player to watch coming into the tournament. So personally, I'm not surprised, but I hope the rest of you guys that did not believe have caught on now. We also have captain Rashidat Ajibade, who is there to threaten any team. Rashidat is a threat on any given day, and she leads the team with poise and with a lot of ability. And then we have defenders like Ashley Plumter, who's back in the squad and putting a fantastic performance in a victory over Tunisia. You have a squad that is deep and dangerous, but we cannot forget goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie, one of the world's best and the anchor of the Super Falcons defense. Of course, she is a CAF goalkeeper of the year winner, so we know the quality that she has. Let's talk about Botswana. The Mares of Botswana are the underdogs, but let's not sleep on them. Their key player, Kit Metse Ditebe, she made history for them in 2022, scoring their first ever WAFCON goal. She's their creative spark, and she's usually the one that makes them tick. But a player that I noticed in their opening match, their defeat against Algeria, the number 10, Radia Kanyo, she's a skillful player. She has an eye for goal, and she can take a good shot from distance. While their goalkeeper, Bosija, kept them in the game against Algeria, I think that Radia Kanyo is the one player that probably the Super Falcons will need to pay the most attention to and will be the most crucial for Botswana in this match. The Botswana squad lacks that, I would say, European-based depth of Nigeria. Most of their players compete locally, playing the Botswanan League. But their 2022 quarterfinal run shows that they can compete with heart and hustle, even though they don't have maybe the names or the natural talent. One major talking point that I think we need to watch out for is that Nigeria has a very deep squad of quality players. So it allows for rotation, like we saw at halftime of the first game when the coach took 3 players off and brought 3 players on that probably even strengthened the side or kept it pretty much the same. So we could see fresh faces throughout the group stages at least. And in this match in particular, the coach has an opportunity to rotate his squad a little bit. Botswana, on the other hand, have a thinner roster of talent, and they might struggle with fatigue because they played a game just now and they're going to play their second game in only 4 days. Will Nigeria's strength and depth be a difference in this match? We have to wait and see. Let's rewind a little bit and talk about the opening matches of the tournament for both teams. Like I previously mentioned, Nigeria won 3-0 versus Tunisia, and Botswana fell to a 1-0 defeat against Algeria. Nigeria's game was, I would call it, a masterclass, showing quality, showing that you are better than your opponents, despite it not being the best performance for the Super Falcons. Just 4 minutes into the game, Asisa Toshuala pounced on Babajide's free kick to make it 1-0. Babajide herself doubled the lead in stoppage time of the first half, firing a low-driven shot past the goalkeeper, and in the 84th minute, substitute his will combined with another substitute, Esther Okonkwo, and she scored, finishing off a slick move that started all the way from Chiamaka Nadozie in goal. Nigeria's controlled possession, exploited the flanks, and survived, potential VAR scare. A clumsy challenge by Deborah Abiodun in the first half honestly could have changed the game if she somehow got sent off. And of course, we nearly considered the penalty as well, but thankfully VAR spotted a previous foul on Michelle Alozie in the build-up. This was Nigeria's 29th group stage victory in WAFCON, and we very, very much looked like favorites in that game versus Tunisia. Switching over to Botswana. Botswana had a tougher day at the Perjego Stadium against Algeria. They considered early from Kachuni's 10th minute strike, which was a dagger for them. They had some efforts at goal, but ultimately they could not find the back of the net. Their lack of firepower and their lack of cutting edge showed in that game. Defensively, they held quite firm after the goal, not conceding too many clear-cut chances. Bosija making a save here and there, but the early blow that they considered sets the tone for the game, and that defeat versus Algeria now puts them in pretty much a must-win spot against Nigeria. If they lose against Nigeria, they're going to find it very tough going into their third match and trying to qualify for the next round of the tournament. Here's something to consider from the first games. Nigeria's attack was good, but not clinical. And there were some errors that were made that need to be cleaned up. Botswana's defense was solid after Algeria scored, but do they really have the quality to frustrate Nigeria's forwards? I don't think so. On the flip side, Botswana's attack really struggled, and facing Nigeria's strong defense and Enadozie's wall in goal would not make it any easier for them in this match from their opening fixture. Let's talk about tactics a little bit and how the teams will set up. Get your chalkboard out. Under interim coach Justin Madugu, the Super Falcons typically line up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, trying to balance defensive solidity with attacking flair. Nadozie in goal is going to be a rock. Ashley Plumter and Osino Chiohale anchoring the back four, probably going to be Michelle Alozie on the right hand and Demey playing beside Ohale. In the midfield, it's going to be Deborah Abiodun or Christy Uchebe and Halimatu Ainde, allowing wingers like Babajide to stretch the defense. Oshuala started as the lone striker in the first game, but I feel like the coach might not start her in the second match, not because she was bad, but because he might want to try something different, and try to beat the Botswanan defense with a little bit more pace of a Hezuo. I also hope and expect the coach to use Ajibade better going forward in this second match so that she can create some key chances. Probably, hopefully, he plays her from the right side so that she can run at the defense and just be more effective than she was in the opening fixture. I expect the Super Falcons of Nigeria to dominate possession. I expect our wingers to press high and force Botswana into mistakes and to use their pace and their skill to beat the Botswana defense. Botswana, on the other hand, are coached by Alex Malete. And, he's probably going to play also a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 formation, trying to stay compact, trying to hold Nigeria off as much as possible and see if they can take their chances in transition. Bosija is in goal and is going to be a last line of defense, with Otagile leading a disciplined back four. In the midfield, I think the Tebe is going to be their key for transitioning from defense to attack and trying to link up with strikers like Tolakeli. Against Algeria, they sat quite deep after conceding. Even though they needed to score a goal, it was only later in the game that they started to come at Algeria a lot more. So I expect a similar approach for them in this match. They will try to absorb Nigeria's pressure as much as possible and then rely on their counter attacks and hope that they can create one or two moments of magic. Now, a tactical wrinkle to watch. Nigeria's high press, I think, could potentially just expose Botswana's less experienced midfield and defense. But if Botswana can probably bypass the high press with a long ball, then maybe they might have one or two opportunities to catch Nigeria's line off guard. VAR has also been a factor in Nigeria's opening game of the tournament. So, hey, everybody needs to be careful because a close call either way could sway the outcome of the match. As far as players to watch and matchups to watch in this game, I think this game will come down to certain battles that the Super Falcons of Nigeria or Botswana would have to win. If Oshoala starts, she's definitely one to watch. Oshoala's movement, Oshoala's finishing are world class. And she will definitely test the Botswanan centre backs if she does get to start against them. They will need to be at their best to contain her. And then also in midfield, Christy Uchebe or Deborah Zabiodun's ball winning ability facing up against the midfield of Ditebe in Botswana. It is going to be a big matchup. I think if we win the midfield battle, we win this match. Botswana have to find a way forward. But I also think that on the wings, Babajide and Ajibade's pace and skill might be able to just completely overwhelm Botswana's fullbacks, who in the first game against Algeria struggled in moments against their white players. I think this game could be a very, very interesting one. But what do I think is going to be the outcome and my prediction for this match? On July 10th, Nigeria's firepower and Nigeria's depth definitely make the Super Falcons to be heavy favorites. Their 3-0 thrashing of Tunisia on opening day showed that they are starting to click, despite not having that many games so far in 2025, and that being the first game of the tournament. And with Oshoala Babajide and Hazel scoring, Esther Okonkwo coming off the bench putting a solid performance, and other players who are eager to shine, the Super Falcons are going to be pumped up for this match. We, of course, played Botswana in 2022, and we beat them 2-0. Uchebe scored on that day. So maybe she might want to get on the score sheet again. I think that our attack could very easily overwhelm Botswana's defense. And our defense is strong enough to deal with whatever threats that Botswana pose. They are going to play with a compact setup, but if we keep creating chances like we did against Tunisia, I don't see it being too much of a struggle, while they would have a hard time even getting any shots past Chiamaka Nnadozie and goal. I'm going to predict a 3-0 victory or maybe even a 4-0 victory for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. I see us scoring another early goal, maybe from a set piece, maybe otherwise, but I see another early goal coming. And then from there, we're going to just take control of the game, dominate possession, and get a couple more goals. I think it is going to be a fairly comfortable and easy victory for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. With all due respect to Botswana, I just think that we are a much, much better side. So there you have it, guys. Nigeria versus Botswana on July the 10th. I think it's going to be a thrilling clash of styles. Nigeria's star power against Botswana's grit. Who do you have winning? Drop your score predictions in the comments. Let me know who you think is going to score in the comments. Let's debate, let's talk, let's discuss the game, and let us get hyped for the match. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this match preview. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And of course, turn on notifications so that you can continue to enjoy our WAFCON content, as we will be bringing you back to back throughout this tournament until the Super Falcons of Nigeria hopefully lift the beautiful trophy at the end. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, I want to say a big thank you for watching. Just click the link on your screen now to enjoy my exclusive interview with former Super Falcons head coach, Randy Waldron. Bye-bye.